Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury on a budget, so if you're into that sort of thing, please make sure you subscribe, like the videos that you enjoy, and click the bell notification icon to be notified when I post a new video. Today I have the first part of a Q&A for you. I suspect I'll only have two parts, but who knows, it might go longer. It depends on how much I talk. I'm going to try to be short. I asked for Q&As on an Instagram post a little while back. I've already posted that video, and then I also asked for them on one of my YouTube videos, which was called Unboxing Louis Vuitton SLG. I got 84 comments. They're not all questions, but some of the comments have multiple questions. Even if I took 30 seconds for each question, that'd be almost an hour long. So I'm sure it'll be more than one part at least. And I'm going to spread these out so you don't just get bombarded with Q&As and get really bored with that. I think they're fun though. You guys seem to enjoy them. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here instead of talking too much. And I'm going to try to go as fast as I can and not talk too much like I usually do with these. First question from Sean Blazin. What are your thoughts on the trend of plastic PVC handbags from all the major design houses? To me, they look absolutely terrible. There are some that I like, there are some that I don't. They're all way overpriced for what they are, which is why the PVC bag that I have, which is a Chanel-inspired flat PVC bag, is one that I got as a dupe from Amazon because I and many people, it sounds like yourself included, are not willing to pay luxury prices for a plastic bag. I do like some of the designs though. I like the Chanel bag that has the sand in it and the pearls. That one's fun. Andrea, hi Andrea. She asked, are you quiet with friends and family about your YouTube channel? No, all my friends and family know about it and they're supportive of it. What or who influenced you to start your channel? I got this question in the last Q&A I posted to on Instagram. It was Wendy, and her current channel is called Wendy's Loving Life. And I explained more how she influenced me in the previous one. Have you ever been recognized? I have. I've been recognized a few times at the Houston Galleria because that's where I'm most likely to run into you guys. But I was also recognized a month or two ago at my local grocery store. That one surprised me even more than the ones at the Galleria. If your channel got so big that you didn't really need to teach, would you give up your teaching post? I think that it's a little bit tough because I really love my teaching job, but I think that if my channel got so big that I could sustain an income and I didn't need my teaching income anymore, then I probably would quit that job. As long as I could still afford all the benefits that I have there and the retirement that I have, and as long as everything else could be the same, if I had to choose the two jobs, I would rather do YouTube. The reason for that is because it's being self-employed, and I've always liked that idea. I also like the idea of working for someone else, because then it's sort of less work in a way. When you're self-employed, you're constantly working, but this is work that I really love too. And I do think of it as work, but I enjoy it, so it doesn't feel like work most of the time. Tyler Teaches asks, do you ever get any judgment from your fellow teachers? I just got offered a job as a kindergarten teacher and was wondering if your coworkers know about your collection, and if so, do they judge? I remember I kept it quiet for a while, and then I only told a couple of people who I was closer to at work. They didn't care. Most people just aren't into luxury, so a lot of them don't care. Maybe there are some people that judge. I know last year I sent out an email. It must have had something to do with a charity I was trying to raise money for. In the email, I revealed that I have a YouTube channel and gave the link to it. Nobody ever commented. In the time that I've been teaching at this school, there have been a few other teachers who carry luxury bags. We have a ton of parents at our school who carry luxury bags, but I've never gotten any judgment for it. I think it depends on your school, it depends on where you live. If you're worried about it, on one hand, you shouldn't be worried about it. On the other hand, if you are, just give it a little time and get a feel for the place and see if you feel more comfortable. I would also caution though, having that around kindergartners, that would be my bigger worry. Of course, you'd lock it up in a cabinet where they couldn't get it though, right? Sean Blazin asked, do you have any zippy wallets from Louis Vuitton? I do not. I have thought about getting the little zippy coin purse, but I've never jumped on that. I go back and forth about whether I really need it and which one to get, because there are a lot of limited edition pieces, and I don't know if I want just the monogram or an empreinte or one of the limited edition pieces, like the blossoms with the black flowers that are kind of shiny. That one's really pretty. Amy, R-E-I-F, is it Riff or Rife? I'm not sure, sorry. She says, why don't you wear makeup? I'm not asking because I think you should. I'm just curious about why you don't. You seem like a creative, artistic person who would enjoy expressing herself in that way. I have talked about this in previous videos, and the reason is just it's not my thing. My mom didn't wear makeup, so I didn't grow up around it, at least being an everyday thing. I don't think people have to wear makeup, male or female. I have some problems with the makeup industry primarily targeting women and making women, at least in America, feel like they do have to wear it. I hear people all the time make comments like, oh, I can't leave the house without makeup, and people that talk about like their husbands have never seen them without makeup, and like I don't want to judge people about it, but I think that's crazy. I think you should be comfortable in your own skin no matter what is going on with your skin. I have redness issues with my skin, very sensitive to temperatures. For my videos, I did maybe a year or more ago start wearing just a light powder to even out the skin tone and to reduce the shine from the lights, although you still get that in my glasses. That I want to get some glasses where I don't have that too. But when I addressed this issue before, I had a lot of people talk to me about how they wear makeup for, like what you're talking about, a creative, artistic expression. And I think that is fantastic. And I had never thought of it that way because I'd never given makeup that much thought before. And I think that's a really fun thing. I also don't want to spend all the money on it. It's a constant expense, and it can get very expensive. Sometimes it seems like an addiction for some people. Like I hear people constantly going to Sephora or whatever other store and buying makeup all the time. And I mean, if you really enjoy it and that's your thing, like I have way more handbags than I need, and some people have way more makeup than they need. So no judgment there if that's your thing. I just don't like the idea of people feeling like they have to wear it and they don't want anybody to see them without it. Virginia Greig, G-R-E-I-G, says, what is the one luxury item, bag or SLG, that you covet more than any other? The one thing you'd give anything to have. So you're asking about something I don't have yet. Maybe a Kelly bag. That would be sort of the ultimate dream bag for me now, but I don't know, you know, if I could have my pick and money was no object, I don't know what leather I'd get and what color I'd get. I'd probably go with a black and gold, and I'd probably want a Preloved, maybe an exotic leather like an ostrich, but I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to answer something like that because I tend to be more practical, so I don't really think of dream bags that I probably will never get. Although I don't think a Kelly's totally out of reach. I think maybe for my 50th birthday, I've talked about this before, that maybe I could save up and get a Kelly then. Gigi Lewis asks, when did you first start to develop an interest in luxury handbags and why? I think it was in middle school. The first bag I have, I've talked about this before too, first bag I ever got that was luxury but not really luxury because we couldn't afford it. Dooney & Bourke was really big at that time. They still are, but they were very popular, and like all the cool girls had the Dooney & Bourke bags. And we couldn't afford one of those. There was no way. So I remember we went to this grocery store called Fiesta in town, and they had some fake handbags, and they had a fake Dooney & Bourke, and that was my first designer bag. And then when I was in New York in college, that's when I got into Louis Vuitton because I saw those everywhere. And my first Louis Vuitton was a fake bag. My first few were. I've talked about that before too. I have a whole video about the fake bags that I used to have. Christine Lee asks, love your channel. What percentage of your income do you spend on luxury? I don't know. I've never figured that out. What's the best way to sell? I think that really depends on your goals. Most people want to get as much money as they can. For that, you'd want to be selling one-to-one instead of going through a third party. You're also though concerned about safety, and for safety and making sure somebody's not scamming you, then it's best to go through one of the companies, one of the Preloved sites like The RealReal or Fashionphile, but you won't get as much money from them. So if you went through one of the trusted Facebook groups, you're more likely to get a higher price for it. And generally people aren't scamming each other on that site. You're gonna have more scams on eBay, for example, or Poshmark, so I've heard. And she says, do you feel like there's a decline in LV quality? Absolutely, and I've talked about that in lots of videos too. Emma Cat asks, what do you think about the less expensive fashion houses like Kate Kate Spade and Michael Kors. Do you agree with people who say those brands should not be considered luxury? Why or why not? I have a video on what is luxury, and that would answer your second question about why or why not it would or wouldn't be luxury. I think the gist is it just depends on who you are and your perspective. It's luxury to some people and not to others. I like Kate Spade. I've never been a big fan of Michael Kors. I did have one of their outlet bags once that I really liked, but I only wore it a couple times because it was light blue, which turned out didn't go very well with my wardrobe, and it was suede, which I was way too paranoid to wear. And I don't think I've ever had a Kate Spade bag. I had a Kate Spade wallet, but I think their designs are really cute and fun. MJ Lux, hi Jill. If you could only carry one bag for a year, what would it be? Not limited to Louis Vuitton, of course. One bag for a year, it would have to be lightweight because I have back problems, but still big enough to stuff it full because I tend to carry a lot of stuff. So it'd have to be one of my tote bags. So for that, I'd either have to go with my Chanel Shop in Moscow tote or one of my Neverfulls, probably the Eben one because that's more weatherproof. As long as, I'd probably go with the Neverfull because it is more weatherproof and I wouldn't want to damage the Chanel bag, but I'd have to have some kind of raincoat or something to put over it. In the video where I asked for these Q&As, I unboxed a luggage tag, and I unboxed two of those recently, so I don't know which one it was. I think it might have been the black one, but it might have been the turquoise monogram one, not sure. This relates to the question. Sadie G asked, besides this luggage tag, would you purchase anything from the men's line? Both of those tags are from the men's line. I would. I love the monogram Eclipse print, the black and gray monogram, and I've heard a lot of people say this and I agree. I wish they would make a Speedy and a Neverfull, maybe some other bags on the women's side, you know, with that print and with the damier graphite. Women love that. I don't know what they're thinking by not doing that. And then the men's line, the same collection as the teal luggage tag, they had this cobalt blue monogram. Gorgeous. That would be lovely. Other than that, I'm not all that aware of the men's line because I don't tend to look at it on the website. Jill Maurer has mentioned this before, how they are separate, the men's and women's sections on the website. And I tend to look at the women's section and not at the men's, and that's a bad habit because there's a lot of stuff on the men's side that women like too. Melissa Spurlock asked if I could do a closet tour. I have that video, so I can link that below. Carlos Zool, can you describe your dream Birkin or Kelly? I already did that earlier. With another question here, it would be a Kelly, not a Birkin, and probably black and gold, maybe ostrich. Penelope Nichols asks, did the boyfriend create your opening music? He did not. I got it from YouTube. They have some free music that's available to YouTube video creators, and that's where I found it. 007 Storm 007 says, what was your most expensive designer bag purchase? It depends on what you mean by most expensive because I tend to buy pre-loved. So is it what I paid? I have one bag that the boyfriend purchased for me. That was retail. That was my Turenne MM. That was 1,600 something retail plus tax. The most expensive bag retail that I've ever had was my Louis Vuitton Trevi GM, which retailed for $2,500, but I only paid, it was about half that, less than half, right around half, something like that. And then the most I've spent on a bag, probably when I bought my Neverfull brand new, because that was 1,300 something plus tax, so 14 something. But I'm about to spend more than that, quite a bit more than that, on my birthday bag. That will definitely be my most expensive. He also asked where I live if I choose to reveal, and then he said that never mind, because I mentioned Texas somewhere else. I live in Houston. And then he says, for number 3, most affordable or cheapest LV bag and affordable / cheapest non-LV designer bag. Are you asking about in my collection what's my most affordable or cheapest LV bag? I think the least I've ever paid for a Louis Vuitton bag, it was either my vintage Speedy 30 or my vintage Noé GM. Those were in the $300 range. And then the cheapest non-LV bag that I have, maybe some of my dupes from Amazon. I have bags that were like $30, like Chanel dupes that I've done videos on. Sean Blazin asked, would you ever consider purchasing a clothing item from Louis Vuitton, like scarf, shoes, or dress? I do have a scarf, but I would not buy, well, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't buy shoes because I have seen some shoes I'd like and maybe I would buy some at some point. I wouldn't buy the clothes, so my weight fluctuates too much for me to spend that much on clothes that at some point are not going to fit. Lori Bella asks, I'm looking to purchase a Neverfull MM or a Speedy 30. What are your thoughts? And also, if the Speedy 30, would you get the original or the bandolier? They're both fantastic bags. I probably have a comparison between the Neverfull and Speedy. I would recommend watching that. I would say for sure if you got the Speedy to go ahead and spend the extra money and get the bandolier if you are a shoulder bag kind of girl like I am. I have both of those bags. I don't have a bandolier, but I have a classic Speedy, but I attach a strap to it because I'm just not a handheld handbag kind of girl. I need a shoulder strap. It's hard for me to say Neverfull or Speedy, especially to somebody I don't know, because I love both of them and they both have their place. They're both great bags. Also, sorry about the light coming in. It's 6 o'clock when I'm filming this and the light's coming in. Can't do anything about it. Sean Blazin, do you have any recommendations for SLGs for men from Louis Vuitton? Like I said, I don't really follow the men's line, so can't help you too much there. They do have a little, I think it's called a pocket organizer that just it opens like this, and I think it sort of looked like a passport holder, but then you open it had several card slots. I thought that was a nice piece. Then there was another one that had a zipper and some card slots on the outside. That was also nice, but I don't know what that's called. I would say just check the website. I'm really just not that familiar with the men's line. Holo Adventures asks, what is your go-to bag for work? I don't have one go-to bag. I switch my bags out almost daily, so I rotate through my collection. Try to get out of the sun a little bit. It's annoying me. Maybe I can lean forward, that works. So I rotate through my collection. Pretty good about that. It also depends on what you do for work and what you have to carry. I tend to carry a handbag just as a handbag, and then I also have a rolling cart that has my computer and books and planners and a million other things I carry. Candace Norwood asks, if you only had to pick one luxury item to have, bag or SLG, etc., in your collection, which one would it be? That would be my Louis Vuitton Turenne bag, because it has sentimental value. The boyfriend bought it for me when we were in New York, but also it's just a fabulous bag. I love it so much. It's kind of the perfect handbag. Belinda Sanders asks, what was the outcome of the fake luggage tag purchased from the Real? Were you able to get a refund after being told by LB that it was fake? I talked about that at some point too. I think I did a follow-up video on it. But yeah, it was fake and they did take it back because of that. They never admitted it was fake, but they took it back and they refunded me. Emilia Bolsas asks, any tips on buying from Japanese resellers? She said, I'm specifically looking at LV agendas and they frequently describe items' levels of stickiness, which appears to mean peeling. Thoughts on the term, whether that's a condition issue to avoid, especially related to interior pockets. I personally would avoid stickiness. They do mean stickiness and they also mean peeling. Both of those can happen on the inside of those pockets. Personally, I would definitely avoid that, because once it starts peeling and gets sticky, then you can't really use the pockets unless you can line them somehow. And it's difficult to line them because you have to get all the way into the corners and it's hard to get in there. I don't have tips from buying from Japanese sellers. I've done that twice, I think, and both on eBay, and I had good experiences. From what I've heard, Japanese sellers have authentic bags overall. Maybe there are a couple of fakes here and there, but generally my understanding is that their bags are authentic. So I would just be really vigilant about looking at the photos and reading the description, finding a deal on something that you're happy with the condition. And I don't have sellers to recommend because I don't have sellers to recommend. Craig Siebler asks a timely question. Are you sad when it's time to go back to school? As a matter of fact, I'm filming this the night before I have to go back to work. I'm filming this on my very last day of summer break. Actually, I'm usually kind of sad, but I'm actually not. I sort of went through that already about a week and a half ago. I had a little bit of a depressive moment there for a couple days. Not just about that, there was some other stuff going on, but yeah, I do tend to get sad. When I get saddest though, there's this anticipation and almost nervousness even though I've been doing this for a long time. I've had many of these back to school days now. There's this anticipation about the first day back. When it really hits you though that summer is over is when you have to get up and go back to work again the second day. That's when it hits you that your freedom has been stripped from you and you can no longer lay around with dachshunds and watch Netflix and make YouTube videos and cook all day. Craig also asks how the animals are doing. They are all doing great. Thank you for asking. Roxy almost bit my face off this morning because I was playing around with her and playfully bit her leg. She didn't like that. She wouldn't really have bit my face off, but she lunged at me. Warning lunge. Okay, I'm gonna end this one here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone for your questions. Stay tuned for part 2 of the Q&A. Currently the plan is to have that up 2 weeks from today, but sometimes my upload schedule changes because I get tagged in something or something, so I throw a new video in and that moves everything else around. But that's the plan currently. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a fantastic day. Bye.